The American school system is a giant, ongoing construction project, a building framed, torn down, and expanded for over 300 years. In the 1600s, schooling looked like this page from the New England Primer. Education was highly exclusive, reserved mostly for wealthy elites or Puritan children, whose primary goal was learning to read the Bible to achieve salvation. In the 1800s, Horace Mann proposed a different design. He advocated for universal public education, arguing that tax-funded schools were the best way to turn children into judicious, capable citizens. Mann championed common schools, like this stone schoolhouse, which were open to children of all social classes. Inside, students learned standardized skills from McGuffey readers, while Mann established normal schools, specifically to train the nation's first professional teachers. This era also saw the rise of religious parochial schools, though laws called Blaine Amendments eventually blocked them from using tax money. At the same time, the government passed the Morrill Land Grant Acts, which provided federal land to fund new agricultural and industrial colleges. By the late 1800s, the physical and financial footprint of the American school was in place, but for many marginalized groups, the doors to this new building remained firmly closed. As the wooden schoolhouse grew into a sprawling brick institution, systemic inequalities were built directly into the school's daily operations. Starting in the 1860s, the U.S. government forced Native American children into boarding schools like this one. These schools were designed to erase their culture and native languages, often using severe discipline to force students to adopt white American values. Social reformers fought to make the system more inclusive. Jane Addams founded Hull House in Chicago, providing poor immigrants with the childcare, job training, and English classes they needed to navigate their new lives. W.E.B. Du Bois took the fight even further. He used sociological research to challenge discrimination and helped found the NAACP to demand that Black Americans receive the same educational opportunities as everyone else. These reformers proved that in America, gaining access to a classroom was a vital step in the pursuit of social survival and equal rights. Inside the building, John Dewey was changing how students actually learned. His progressive education theory moved classrooms away from rote memorization and toward hands-on, experiential projects that reflected real-world social life. As administration modernized, Andrew Carnegie's foundation established the Carnegie Unit to standardize high school credits. However, this era also introduced IQ tests, which administrators used to track students into either academic or vocational paths, a practice critics argued was used to discriminate against minorities. The legal architecture of the system shifted in 1954 with Brown v. Board of Education. The Supreme Court unanimously ruled that separate but equal facilities had no place in public education, mandating desegregation across the country. President Lyndon B. Johnson expanded this access by signing the Higher Education Act of 1965. It created college scholarships and low-interest loans, making a university degree a reality for millions of underprivileged students. In 1972, Title IX was passed to prevent gender discrimination. This landmark law ensured that girls and women had equal access to all academic programs and school-sponsored sports. By the 1970s, the legal design of the American school had finally been re-engineered to admit everyone, regardless of their background. As schools became more diverse, the Supreme Court began writing a constitutional rulebook for the classroom. They had to decide exactly how to balance a student's individual rights with the school's need to maintain order. In Engel v. Vitale, the court ruled that public schools cannot lead students in official, government-sponsored prayers, violating the separation of church and state. The case of Tinker v. Des Moines protected free speech, confirming that students could wear armbands to protest a war, as long as they didn't cause a substantial disruption to the school day. However, those rights have limits. In New Jersey v. TLO, the court allowed schools to search bags based on reasonable suspicion. And in Morse v. Frederick, which began at this Olympic relay, the court ruled, these rulings mean that while students have constitutional protections, those rights are always weighed against the school's mission to keep the environment safe and focused on learning. Today, digital technology is a standard part of the classroom blueprint. Modern teaching focuses on the 4 C's: critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity. We still face ongoing debates, like whether to evaluate students through standardized tests or long-term portfolios, and how to best measure the quality of our teachers. This diagram represents a modern professional blueprint for how teachers are trained today. At its center is one primary goal: creating opportunity for every student. This opportunity relies on 5 pillars: deep subject knowledge, constant reflection, professional ethics, respect for diversity, and effective teaching strategies. The American school system is an unfinished project. It isn't perfect, but educators and lawmakers continue to build on this foundation every day, revising the blueprint to give every student a fair chance to succeed.